Well, what do we got over here? Bada boom, Real's one in the room. How you doing? You are listening. Big boobs, huh? And you are listening to True Real Heat. How you doing?
You already know what time it is, man. The young goat in the building. Make sure you tune in to True Hill Heat Podcast.
This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero. And if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to the boys.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3, back once again with another review, TV show review. This time we are talking all about Ironheart Season 1. Let's get into it. This is a solo review, solo dolo. Your boy is here talking all about Ironheart Season 1. Probably the final season if you saw the viewership and the reviews. But hey, we're here to finish it off. We did part 1 a couple of weeks back talking about episodes 1 through 3. Now we're back for episodes 4 through 6. Let me know what you thought about Ironheart Season 1, episodes 4 through 6 in the comments down below. If you're watching us on the premiere, you could comment and sound off on the live chat. Love to interact with all of you guys, so share your thoughts over there. But without further ado, you can also drop the thumbs up on the video. Share this video with all your Ironheart or Marvel family, friends, and fans. And of course, hit the subscribe button for more True Hill Heat sports and entertainment content. A lot more content, more than usual over the last couple of days, especially this week. So you got a lot to enjoy right there. So hit us up and hit the subscribe button as we approach 1,000 subscribers. But let's get into episode 4 of Ironheart. Episode 4, you start off the episode with Parker basically reflecting and remembering when he and John first robbed a mansion a long time ago. He was very nervous, almost got caught, but John shot a security guard for him. His cousin would always be by his side no matter the situation. But now he is alone after what happened in episode 3 with Riri and John getting into the fight. Riri was saved by her suit, aka Natalie, while John was left in the oxygenless tank and died because of a lack of oxygen. Now Parker is all alone and holding sort of a funeral with his crew. He tells them that he loved John's loyalty, all while staring at Riri after his the cloak. The cloak has basically, or as we would find out, someone was letting him know that it was Riri in her Ironheart suit that is the reason why John is now dead. He clearly knows what she did and he has plans for her. Back in her house, Riri tries to analyze Parker's hood, but she can't understand how it works. It's impossible to explain it with science, and she's too paranoid to think straight. Not even Natalie can get her to calm down. She goes to check on Joe next, just to find out that he has been arrested after she basically left the biomesh after the robbery that they did at the facility in episode 3. Now they track that back to Joe, and Joe's been arrested due to Riri's mess up. Now everyone knows that he's Ezekiel Stane, the son of Obadiah Stane, which causes this whole kind of, we see how the public has viewed Obadiah Stane for all these years, not knowing that he was the Ironmonger because of Tony and the Stark Corp protecting his identity. And it's all her fault, Riri. Riri then even tries to talk to Joe in prison, but he blames her as well. He tells her that she's a selfish kid, a liar, and a manipulator, and leaves her there. I mean, Joe's not wrong. Ezekiel's not wrong. Zeke, Joe, whatever your name is, Zeke Joe. After that, Riri meets the Hood's crew and finds out that a new tech specialist will join them, which makes her worried because she was the tech specialist that replaced the last one, and the last one winded up dying, which was Rampage. To make things worse, the Hood knows that she is Joe's friend, but he congratulates her on getting him accused of their crimes and torturing the girl, which only gets her more paranoid as a result. When Riri's back in her house, she puts cameras all over and gives her mother a watch that will protect her if she gets in any danger and put her in the ball that we saw in the first episode. She also gives Xavier one without explaining anything to him at all. The girl also asks him if she's a bad person, trying to act like she should feel guilty for everything that she's done so far with working with the Hood crew and getting Zeke arrested. And he tells her that if anything, she's smart. Things such as good or bad can't describe her, but that doesn't ease her anxieties at all. Riri even has to sleep in her suit to feel any kind of safety, but that doesn't work, as when she hears gunshots on the TV, the watch activates as her mother's watching the show, forming a shield around her and unnecessarily scaring her as she busts in her door wearing the Ironheart suit. Thankfully, she then opens up to her mother, saying that she might need some of her crystals or magic, and she believes she's only asking that because she believes that the Hood is some type of magic and maybe she can get some answers. The next day, they go to Madeline Stanton's shop, one of her mother's friends, that is played by the incomparable Freddie Gibbs, or not Freddie Gibbs, Freddie from Different World. Shout outs to her. But then Madeline's daughter, though, is Zelma, who realizes that the piece of fabric in Riri's pocket and sends them into another realm. There, they can analyze what the cloak is, and unfortunately, it's something related to the darkest dimension possible. Madeline doesn't tell Riri who made it, but says that the girl must forget about it because nothing good will come out of holding on to it. Riri's mother tries to understand what exactly is happening, but Riri fights with her and leaves. She goes to Ezekiel's bunker to test how to destroy the Hood, but she can't find anything that actually works. The girl then tries everything from using acid to freezing it, but it remains unscathed. Meanwhile, the Hood visits Ezekiel staying in prison. He wants him to be his real self and join their group as the new tech specialist. Zeke seems confused, but Parker says he'll understand and he'll return at night to get his answer. While flying home, Riri has another panic attack as she stops in the middle of nowhere to get a breather. Natalie flies off with the armor, saying that it knows how to solve her problem. However, it goes for the worst possible option here. The armor arrives at Xavier's house and takes him to where his friend is. He helps Riri calm down, but still doesn't understand how she made the armor take him there. So Natalie reveals her itself as the hologram, which is Xavier's sister, which actually disgusts him. He says Riri had no right to use his sister as a model for her AI. And even if she didn't mean it, she still could have deleted it. However, the girl refuses to do that and gives him excuses. Both Natalie and Xavier leave her there all alone after that. As nighttime comes, the Hood's crew breaks Ezekiel out of prison, having chosen to join them. He also appears to have a new plan for dealing with Riri. He undergoes surgery to change his body into with the help of Slug, and it's clearly quite drastic, and it's going to change him completely forever. So, not the wisest decision. Now that they're doing that, all of Hood's group knows that Riri is responsible for John's death and basically sends them on a mission. So this was kind of a more of a low-key episode, lesser than episode 3. This was more of like setup for the final 2 big episodes. I liked episode 3 because a lot was happening and a lot of big ramifications for the second half of the season. This one I didn't like as much, so I probably would give it like a thumbs in the middle, maybe like a 6.5 out of 10. I thought it would get better with the final 2 episodes, but spoiler alert, we'll see. We'll talk about it. So yeah, thumbs in the middle for this episode. MVP for this episode, I'm gonna give it to Parker, aka the Hood. He knows more than Riri knows, because Riri doesn't realize that he knows that she was behind John's murder and death because of the Hood giving him the information. So he's one step ahead of her. Him going to Ezekiel and getting his help for basically getting revenge on Riri, it gives him the upper hand going into the final 2 episodes. So he's got to be the MVP. LVP, it's probably Riri, because she's just all over the place. And yes, it is her fault why Zeke got arrested. So I don't have any remorse for her. Then we got episode 5. Episode 5 begins with Natalie. She's watching the videos of Riri and the real Natalie talking, trying to copy the girl's expressions. Slug suddenly snatches it and locks the suit in the back of a truck. Meanwhile, Zelma explains to Riri at a White Castle that Dormammu, a powerful demon and the main villain of Doctor Strange, is the one behind the Hood's powers, or so she thinks. Like he did in his first fight, his fight against Strange, he must be using Parker's ambition to be summoned to Earth. But their discussion will have to wait for now, as the blood siblings arrive to take out Riri. Riri tells Zelma to go away. Zelma listens to her. Wise girl. When everyone leaves, they have the restaurant all for themselves. A fight ensues. Riri tries her best to run and overpower them, which she does to some extent. However, they quickly drive her to a corner. Luckily, her protective watch had fallen on the ground near the sisters before, so when they shoot the girl, a spear appears out of thin air and blocking the siblings inside it with the gun and the bullet. There's more danger on the way, though. As Riri attempts to leave the restaurant, Clown comes next. She doesn't listen to anything our protagonist has to say, and keeps throwing bombs at her pretty much, despite Riri making sense. And Clown was kind of on her side during a lot of this when they were trying to discover what's behind the hood. But soon after, Riri also outsmarts her as well, knocking the criminal out. Slug speeds up to run over Riri as soon as she leaves the restaurant. This time, it's Natalie that outsmarts the villains as she comes out of the truck, busts out of the truck. Slug's only choice is to give up and run away as the iron suit jumps onto Riri's body, puts her in the suit as she basically drops the truck. It's basically the scene that's in the trailer where the truck flips over after it smashes into the Ironheart suit. Slug's only choice is to give up and run away, seeing that Riri and the suit are together again. To the girl's surprise, though, the last line of defense is actually Ezekiel Stain, a new, recharged, and reborn Ezekiel Stain. He used biological implants to transform himself into a makeshift robot to take revenge. He doesn't understand why his father did everything he did, but now he gets the urge to have more power. Riri tries to blast him with the suit, but it doesn't even scratch him. Unfortunately for her, his attack isn't nearly as weak. With the girl on the floor, Zeke starts tearing her armor apart. It's a very scary scene, piece by piece, as it looks like Riri has nothing left. Even though he's overjoyed by the sight of her basically begging him, he gives up when she begs him not to kill her. He actually still has a heart, apparently. The suit doesn't work anymore, so he tells her to leave Chicago before anyone else finds her. But Clown sees all of that. Later, Riri arrives home and has the first heart-to-heart with her mother. She wants to leave the city, but her mom refuses. Everywhere she went, the girl ran away from her fights. So now she needs to stand her ground no matter where she goes. She'll end up having problems no matter where she goes again, and as it always happens when she tries to build another suit. So they go to Gary's garage, which was her stepfather. Being there around all of his stuff is too much for her. She can't see past the incident that kills her stepfather and Natalie. So the AI Natalie basically shows her a nice memory of them together in the garage. Riri watches as herself as a kid danced and joked with Gary despite a wrench dropping on her head. That's where she got the nickname Ironheart. Not a single worry in the world, though, at that time in her life. She needs to understand that focusing on the bad things also stops her from remembering their good times together. Her mother shows her the car Gary had last fixed. After Riri got home, she brought it back for her, so now the girl has all the parts she needs for a new suit. While she prepares for her next battle, the villains celebrate their last victory, quote unquote victory. Ezekiel can't quite tell how he killed Riri, which makes Parker suspicious of him. However, Clown makes a cover story for him and Hood believes it. She's starting to doubt her leader and even asks Slug to find Rampage's autopsy report. The next day, she asks Parker about Rampage and shows him the report. He doesn't admit to having killed him, but fires her all the same. When the others try to stop their fight, he almost kills Slug. The Hood is taking bigger control of him and taking over his mind and his heart every second. And now he doesn't want any of them in his crew. Riri can't find a good enough power source for her suit, so she calls the last resort, which is Zelma. She's going to fight magic with magic. She and her friends get together to help her build the new suit. Even Xavier forgives after reading a note in the gift that she had given him a few episodes earlier, the new headphones, after his headphones break. Although he disagrees with what she did, he can understand her because she is Spock. Hood also makes his move as he takes control of Ezekiel's body modifications, and now he has to obey everything Parker says. In broad daylight, they go to the mansion Parker had tried to rob with his cousin once, and with Zeke by his side, he's unstoppable. Surprisingly, the mansion belongs to Parker's father all along, which we kind of saw in the first few episodes. All the companies that he stole from in the last couple of months were related to his father, and now he wants everything the man has. He never gave Parker attention and abandoned him when he was a child. So he wants revenge. After Hood uses magic to threaten the old man, his father finally gives up and gives him everything he wants. At the same time, Riri finished building the armor, and the only thing left to do is connecting it to a power source. Even though Zelma says magic always takes something in exchange, Riri wants to proceed. Little does she expect that magic is taking Natalie away from her once again. The girl can't do anything but watch as the AI glitches and fades. So this was more of a action focus, which makes it a little bit more entertaining. The opening sequence with the fight with the blood siblings and Clown and Ezekiel was probably the most entertaining that the show has been through these next two episodes here. So I'll give it a boost up for that. But it's like the story, the writing, how we progress, it feels all very rushed. Everything feels rushed to kind of set up for the final episode. So I think there's a little bit of a disconnect there. So while I would say that this episode is better than episode 4, it's not that much better. So I'm still going to probably go thumbs in the middle, 6.5 out of 10. I like where Hood is thinking. He's going to the next steps of everything, but he does realize that this suit is taking more control over him, and he still won't refuse to take the hood off. So yeah, and then when we find out the real backstory behind all of this, it makes all of it even more a bit confusing. But like, yeah, it's a 6.5 out of 10. Riri is not the most redeemable of characters. I don't think they did a proper redemption arc with her because of the choices that she makes in teaming up with Hood's gang and committing all the robberies and, you know, what she did to Ezekiel. Ezekiel kind of feels like the babyface when he rips the suit apart, you know? It's because they haven't took the right steps in giving her a full redemption arc. So I think that's where the writing is really the weakest at. I would have gave Ezekiel the MVP for beating Riri in the fight, but I can't even do that. I'll probably give MVP to Zelma because she was smart to run away from the fight, and then she's the one that kind of helps with the magic. But then her magic is the thing that takes Natalie away. So more or less, she's the only one that's kind of accomplished something in there. So she did warn Riri that it would take something away, but she didn't listen because Riri doesn't listen. Not the most redeemable protagonist here, so we're dealing with a lot here. LVP probably is once again Riri because she lost Natalie. She's lost her. So here we are again. It's just so difficult to kind of judge this show because of that type of stuff. Like Riri is not the best protagonist in the way that this show has been written. I think the actress does good in the role. Don't get me wrong. It's not an issue of the actress not performing the role right. I think it's more of an issue of the writing is not very good and it lacks a little bit of something there's something to be desired in all of this. So I think that's where the fault is at. But then finally, we had episode 6. Episode 6 starts with Parker reliving the day he attempted to steal from his father's mansion with John again. He runs to the gate, but he can't escape through there. So he goes to a tunnel nearby instead. The mansion guards are surrounding him, but a strange man suddenly appears. And immediately, I'm like, oh, it's Borat. It's Sacha Baron Cohen. It's Borat. And Borat is actually Mephisto. After years upon years of teases and mentions, we thought he was going to be in the WandaVision series. We thought he was going to be in Agatha all along. Mephisto is here. Mephisto is here, and he suddenly appears and offers a way out with him in a door to a pizzeria that appears inside the tunnel. Parker enters, but he can't understand who the man is. Still, the guy enchants him with promises about his potential and by asking what he truly wants. When he says that he wants to be richer than his father, the man says that he'll give him the tools to do just that. He accepted the deal and got the magical cloak, and now he sits in front of a feast, having achieved his objective, but he still feels very empty and alone. However, he still isn't satisfied. Ezekiel says that he's silly and that he's somewhere he doesn't belong, to which he agrees. Then the two men leave the mansion for a new unknown mission. Riri is shocked by her loss, but she still has things to do. She flies to Parker's place as quickly as she can and meets Ezekiel serving as his bodyguard. Meanwhile, Hood talks with a strange man who gave him the cloak. He's hangry, but he says that he'll give Parker more power if he can keep the cloak. Riri convinces Ezekiel to stop fighting her, but he's still in Parker's control, so he can only warn her of his following attacks. Thanks to that, she can hit him in the groin, which is the only way to reset him. He says he still has business with her, but doesn't feel like a dangerous enemy anymore. Now it's Parker's turn to go one-on-one with the new Iron Suit. To take a beating, Riri surprises him with her magic suit, which doesn't let him use the cloak to hide. However, the demon's powers possess him, and he begins to transform. His skin changes, his eyes turn black, and his nails turn into freaking claws. He viciously jumps towards Riri and starts tearing into her armor while she activates an emergency protocol that makes the suit explode before that. He sees the girl defenseless and hurt and tells her he trusted her, but it's far too late, so he shoots her in the head. The bullet passes through her though, and he realizes that this is a hologram. Thanks to the distraction, Riri quickly takes off his cloak and leaves him lying powerless on the ground without the hood. However, when she goes down the stairs, the place has changed completely. The strange man who gave Parker the cloak is there, and he forces Riri out of her suit. Like with Parker, Mephisto offers to give her what she wants, but she says that she won't make a pact with Dormammu. And that's when we learn that Sacha Baron Cohen is, in fact, Mephisto. I mean, I knew it before he said it, but I was just waiting for him to say it. He knows about Riri's loss and offers to give her exactly what she wants. It initially appears that she refuses the offer, but as the show goes back and forth between present and the future, we learn the truth. She ultimately shakes his hand, which brings Natalie back to life a few months from now. However, Riri starts presenting the same scars as Parker did. And speaking of him, we also see that the Natalie that she got back is not the Natalie AI, but instead it's the real Natalie. Like she never died. And we see, like, as they hug each other, we can see the scars going up her hand. So she has made a deal with the devil. And that can only mean the worst. Why, Riri? Why? Speaking of Parker, though, the post-credit scene focused on Parker. Now that he doesn't have the cloak anymore, he searches for another sorcerer to help him, which leads him to Zelma. The magic fight between Riri and Parker is definitely the best part of probably this episode and the entire series, and the reveal of Mephisto definitely makes this series something that you have to watch, that is going to dictate some stuff later in the series or later in the MCU. Mephisto now being around and confirmed is going to have some ramifications for later on in the MCU, especially when you got characters like the Scarlet Witch and Agatha and Wiccan and all of that. So you're gonna have some more magic, and Doctor Strange as well. So it is something that you have to watch at least for the final episode. Final episode was better because it was quick, fast. It was a little bit more faster pace than the previous episodes, but not that much better. It's kind of like what I said about episode 5. It's still a thumbs in the middle, 6.5 out of 10, because the writing is so rushed, it's so lazy. You're presenting us with a protagonist that is not good. It's not a good protagonist. It's a cool story to tell and a cool direction to go with one of our heroes. It's a very flawed hero that is really defined by her PTSD and her trauma, and that makes her make bad decisions. But it's a superhero kind of story, so we want some redeeming qualities, and I don't think they did a good job of telling that with Riri. So, I mean, I'll go slightly higher for episode 6. I'll give it a thumbs up, 7 out of 10, but it's only slightly better than the last 2 episodes. So I'm kind of disappointed overall by Ironheart. I had high hopes, especially after the first 3 episodes, but there just was too many issues with the writing, feeling rushed and very lazy, and not presenting a protagonist that you can really get behind and root for. So I do like the inclusions of Chicago, but I thought they could have done more with Chicago in the latter half of the season. There's side characters that they could have done more with, like Xavier and Riri's mom. I thought Natalie was awesome. I thought Zelma was cool. Parker was a good villain for the first half of the season, but then we realized that the real villain is Riri. So kind of strange decision here. Overall, this episode I'm gonna give MVP to Riri, I guess, because she won against Parker, but she makes the deal with. I'm gonna give it to Mephisto. Mephisto got what he wanted. He got another soul, so it's probably Mephisto. LVP. Parker. He lost the hood. It's got to be Parker. MVP for the season, I'm going to also give it to Mephisto because he's the biggest reveal of the whole entire thing that has some ramifications moving forward. And LVP for the season, it's Riri because she's not a good protagonist, not a well-written protagonist overall. So kind of got to be Riri. Sorry, Riri. I love the actress. She did a good job, but the writing was really bad. So overall, out of 10, I will give Ironheart probably a 6.5 out of 10 for the season. I was very high. I think I gave like one episode like an 8. I think I gave episode 3 an 8. I gave like the first couple episodes like 7.5. But like we never got the highs that I hoped for from a Marvel Disney Plus series. After the highs that we got in Daredevil, this was a little bit of a setback down because even Daredevil had its flaws as well. But this was down from there. But that is my review of Ironheart Season 1 completed. Let me know what you thought. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of Ironheart, whether you gave the show thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. Out of 10, what did you give the show? Who was your MVP and LVP of the whole entire series? And of course, drop the thumbs up, share this video, subscribe if you are new, and we'll be back with more TV, movies, and sports reviews here on True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3, signing off. Until next time, this has been our Ironheart Season 1, Episodes 4 through 6 review. Later, y'all.